Well, hello. My name is Gant, and welcome back to Lucid9. This might be the last episode we will ever play. And it's crazy, because last episode, we were trying to hit hitting the two students, and we stalled for enough time, and Shigori came with the police. Then Ryota chased me and Rui because we ran like, two people would. We got on the roof, Rui jumped into the pool, and Ryota pulled me. He tried to stab me, but I stabbed him, and then after that we both fell in the pool together. And Yama drowned, but he might be saved because a little while ago, they had the clear, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I'm sorry about yesterday, man. I stopped because I was tired, man, and it was like an hour and something. But without further ado, let us continue. That's right. This is a familiar road. There's a sign at the intersection. I think it's rickety and rusted, worn from use. There are no words on it, just two arrows, one pointing forward and one pointing backward. Boom, like that. I'd just like to stay here. A fork in the road is such a dangerous thing. Left, right, out, a one-time decision. And if it turns out that you run into an obstacle, then you'll find yourself wishing that you made the other choice. Then, don't you start overthinking everything. What if I've taken the other road? What if the other road was worse? What if there was another road, if only I've looked harder? What if I haven't taken a road at all? What if I've gone backwards? Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and the one had made all the difference. A poem written by Robert Frost, originally intended to be a simple teasing joke, a hint of playful satire at indecision, but people saw it as something else. Even though they weren't poets, they started adding their own kind of verse to the composition. Independence, individualism, science, discovery, curiosity, free will, and the human condition. Poor Robert Frost. Suddenly, he had written an entirely different poem, even without touching his pen. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I heavily medicated, doctor. At times he's coherent. He thrashes around. We have to sedate him every time. How long? 2 weeks. The record? Here, sir. I assume that's when he screamed for her. He's referring to the other patient. We think so, sir, but she's still recovering with therapy. We haven't been able to get her in here. What's her progress? She's starting to speak again after her parents came with a photo album. We're also hoping that the daily fresh air will help her walk. And how about her arm? Oh, I thought they were talking about Rui. No, they're talking about the girl I beat the fuck out of. Psychosomatic, like her leg. We've been monitoring it over therapy. Good. She's likely to be on a fast ticket to his. Good. She's likely to be our fastest ticket to his recovery. But it might be a while before Miss Hayata is able to. Rui? Mr. Ishimoto. Mr. Ishimoto, are you awake? Come, you see me? Can you see me? Rui. Mr. Ishimoto, can you tell me? Where's Rui? Where did you take her? She's supposed to be here, safe. Hold him down. Show me, Rui, my own two eyes. Daisenpan! Give her back, give her... Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chip, chop, chip, chop. The last man dead. Sometimes I really wonder about children nursery rhymes. Why do we let young kids listen to such twisted ideologies? Children aren't supposed to deal with all that kind of stuff. They're supposed to be innocent. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and... My world suddenly feels warm. What is that? Why is it happening? I suddenly get the impression that I'm awake. I think someone's holding my hand. The tip of my fingers feel warm, like they're being cradled in a loving palm. Everything else is blinding light that drills into the back of my eyes. Home. Home is here. Home. Finally got to visit you. I'm sorry for the wait. I had to go through therapy to start talking again. I know the whole thing is over thanks to you, but whenever I close my eyes, Well, I guess I'm really thankful that the doctors can help me. I just hope that it'll be the same for you. Well, I'll let you rest up. You need a lot of it. Oh, and this whole thing. Doctor says I'll be out in a week. It's apparently all in my head. Honestly though, a wheelchair is not all that bad. I kind of feel like royalty. You know how they had those, what are they called? Sedans? They got carried around all the time. I guess this feels like that. Oh, and Yama? I love laughing at your grades. So hurry up and get well, dummy. I dream a little longer. My dreams are softer now, a little more delicate, like lace instead of a sandpaper. What the fuck? Is that the end? Like, there's no text. What the fuck? Oh, I'm supposed to click. I see a young kid grasping the hand of his older sister. In another world, that kid grows up to be more confident, more assured. He learns how to deal with bullies so that he won't bother his sister. He learns how to study hard and make friends and play soccer like all the other boys his age. He doesn't withdraw, lost in his room. He doesn't keep himself on the playground. He's a happy young boy who turns into a happier teenager. He goes to a prestigious middle school in the area, the academy, to follow in his sister's footsteps. Because his family never left the city. His family never fled to a suburban little town 3 hours away from Isamu. His family stayed because in this other world, there was never an event that he had to do with. A bus, a blizzard, a loose thread, a frozen river. So the young boy also stayed. Maybe he meets a lively orange-haired girl at this middle school. Maybe he befriends her because she's lovable and bright and impossible to dislike. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he falls into a different crowd, a sea of faces that play soccer and grab ramen on snowy days, and study in the library when it's raining. Either way, he flourishes, loves his life, maybe dates once or twice. He studies hard for the college entrance exam, and he passes with flying colors in this other world. He makes it into the university of his dreams. He studies something that he loves. Graduates, finds a girl, gets married. Maybe she has orange hair, maybe she doesn't. He finds a good job, has kids, smiles like an idiot when his daughter wraps her fingers around his pinky. He'll name her after his sister, the one who's alive and well, who's married a decent guy and has her own kids. Then that boy who turns into a teenager, who turned into a man, will wake up one day and he'll be happy. He'll be whole, and he'll be... wondering if this was all there was to life. No, I don't believe that, man. Because in life you go through struggles. There is no happiness. You know what I mean? Happiness is when you get through all those struggles. That's when you'll find happiness. At the end of the road. Even if you're going through, tough shit right now. Suck it up. I'm not gonna be like, suck it up, be a man. No, suck it up. Get through it. put armor around yourself and fight the enemy that is what life throws at you. You slice those away with your sword of determination and you fucking keep going. That's the point of life, you know? Don't get me wrong, some people get lucky. Or is it really luck? Or is it them, actually trying to be the best they can be? And that's what life is sometimes. Trying your best. Even if you fail, even if you succeed, or even if it's like, meh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just try your best. It's worth taking, My eyes peel open, sluggishly, like they haven't done so for a decade. My muscles feel weak and lifeless. Spindle slugs on the sidewalk. My throat's dry and my head is smarting. So it looks like I'm in a hospital. I notice that a nurse is at my bedside, fiddling with the IV drip on the table. She seems tired. Drawn eyes, torn tight frown. I clear my throat to get her attention. Excuse me. The words exec in a queasy croak. The nurse jumps at the raw noise, but relaxes when she notices me. Oh, wonderful, you're awake! Her voice is chipper, but I notice how her eyes meet me with caution. Like I've lunged out of my bed and strangled her if she makes a sudden move. Do you remember your name? Yama Ishimoto. Good. Do you remember how you got here? By ambulance, I assume? I wheeze in dry laughter. Everything seems funny. The nurse eyes me for a minute, then presses the intercom. Doctor, the patient's awake. Can you speak with him? They give me a basic physical exam, followed by a psychological inventory. I give all the answers I think are correct, and expect an immediate release. I'm getting ready to go back to my life. Instead, they take me to a room with plush couch and a compensatory lamp, where a man sits in an armchair and tries to give me the talk about my life. Therapy. I've been through it so many times. I've gotten quite old over the years. Fuck, let me drink some water. Yeah, you're fucking up like the last scenes of this game. Dude, it's taking a long time. What the fuck? I'm so familiar with the proceedings that I resigned myself to play mind games with the therapist. Can I predict before he can ask? Can I redirect his questions? But it's not such a smooth and humorous process. Therapy makes me recall everything. Breaking limbs with a pipe with my own 2 hands. Driving myself insane. Stabbing someone in the gut. During the first lesson, I blacked out. They tell me later that I crumble in a ball and refused to respond to anything until Ruri came. Ruri, now out of her wheelchair. You've been in the hospital for 2 months, he said. Ruri holds my hand in the next session. I squeeze it until I'm afraid that I'll snap her fingers, just like I snapped those bones. She whispers, "You're innocent. Don't you worry. It was all Ryota's fault. You're a victim." I still feel blood on my hands whenever the sessions are over. I go to the bathroom to wash my hands, once, twice, 5 times over. It still runs slick and steady over my wrist and into my forearm when I exit the bathroom. I stop speaking for a few days. There's nothing to talk about. I have too many sounds to remember, too many calamities, too many cacophonies trumpeting in the space between my ears. Ruri sits by me, feeds me when I have no strength to lift a spoon, pulls the covers up to my chin like my mom should have done. She tells me stories, a princess and a knight, a detective and a bar singer, a celebrity and an unfortunate grocer. Some days, I just sit and hold her hand, watching her eyes dance as she paints imaginary canvases with her words. Speaking so much tires her out quickly. Sometimes she nods in the middle of a sentence, so she leans her head on my shoulder and listens to the every rhythm. Fuck. So I lean her head on my shoulder and listen to every rhythm of her breath. It's softer than the discord in my brain. Sometimes it lulls me to sleep too. Then comes the sessions where I remember everything, every last bit, and I lose concentration consciousness again. They say that they found me standing on the hospital rooftop, leaning against the banisters with my arms spread wide, as if I was welcoming the city into a warm embrace. They instantly rushed me down, terrified that I'll try to kill myself. Calm down, I said. My smile was distant. I was enjoying the view. They don't believe me, so I'm confined to my room for a while. No one is allowed to see me, except Rui. Not even my own parents. They say it's because I didn't react well to their presence when I was delirious. So, like the beast with his beauty, I'm holed up in a hospital room, counting the days until I can pass the psychological inventory. Rui brings gifts from the others, envelopes and gift-wrapped boxes, and overly large bags that could have only been funded by Yahiko's purse. They're nice, and the thought is touching, but I tell Rui to return them all. I plan on staying here, keep the blood on my hands in one room. Rui cries every time, a heartbreaking, frustrated kind of crying, as she punches me in the shoulder and yells that it's not my fault, it's Ryota's. Why can't I get that through my head? But even if my brain agrees, my hands remember the scratchiness of the pipe, the vibrations of each terrible impact, the oozing, sinky feeling of the knife sinking into my flesh. So I can only kiss her on the forehead and thank her for staying with me. She doesn't blush. She doesn't even look remotely embarrassed. In fact, I think that's the gesture only makes her angrier. We're gonna make you well, Yama, she screams this out of the window, like some kind of oath. You're gonna be just fine. Why don't they bring the girl you beat the fuck up? Like, let her come and be like, it's okay, Yama. Like, I know it's not your, you know what I mean? Like, where's the other girl? I attend more sessions, stay isolated from family and friends. My parents pay for the sessions, but I see nothing more of them. Legally, they're allowed to see me, but they don't insist. They probably don't really want to see me anyway. They haven't for years. More days slip by. I wonder if my friends have moved on with their lives, gone back to school, prepared for the university exams, started dating. When I start speaking again, ask Rui how we've been at the hospital. How long we've been at the hospital. 2 months and 2 weeks, he says. Is that it? It feels so much longer. I continue the sessions, go for walks, eat hospital food. I think I start to heal, but the world feels a little less empty with each passing day. It's not my fault. I decide to say this to the mirror every morning, even if I don't believe it. Maybe I say enough, maybe if I raise my chin and put my hands on my hips, maybe if I act like I believe it, then I'll believe it. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I stare into my reflection, meaningless words pouring from my lips. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most broken of them all? It seems to whisper back. Broken you may be, young man, but I've seen more broken ones still. Someone with nothing but blood in his eyes, and no person to love. Someone who fell into darkness until one day, to ease his pain, he suddenly became a serial killer. Mirror, mirror, could I have become that man myself? In another world, a boy damaged by an accident, growing up alone and reserved, with nothing but the shadows as his constant companion. The boy could grow into a twisted teenager, who could grow into a twisted man. But I think I understand. Nothing of that happened. What more do I need to worry about? Maybe I disfigured an innocent student. Maybe I stabbed a human being. Maybe I took part in a nightmare that never should have been dreamt. But in this world, in these circumstances, I'm not a twisted, lonely little boy. I grew up showered with love, surrounded by friends, given an ordinary school life. The me standing here and now wouldn't voluntarily lift a pipe or knife to hurt someone without a purpose. Because I'm not anyone else. Eventually, I stopped talking to my reflection and stopped washing my hands even every half hour. I feel at peace. I think, at the very least, I stopped blacking out. Rui says that it's been 3 months since our hospitalization. Isamu is now deep in the whole of summer, with a blazing July sun and humid forest winds. School is probably back in session. It doesn't stop us from receiving gifts, cards, letters, candy. Rui gets swamped by them, of course. Surprisingly, even I receive a few. This time, I returned them for a different reason. Not because I plan on cutting off the... Not because I plan on cutting off outer contact, but because I plan on seeing them in person. The both of us go through more psychological tests. This time, they seem happier with our responses, because they're finally opened the doors. I didn't expect visitors, to be honest. Although I'm no longer bedridden after taking walks at the hospital wing, I expect that the others have gone on with their lives. 3 months. It's a long time in the hurried place of a student. But to my surprise, the moment that the hospital lifted my quarantine, 2 figures raced into the room in a blur. Minion! It's... Masato, what the fuck are you doing here? You fucking was an asshole. You know what I mean? We never solved our shit. You better tell me everything now. It's Yahiko and Masato, dressed in their school uniforms. They're practically bursting with energy. For some reason, seeing them brings tears to my eyes. Embarrassed, I turn away. Dude, these past months have felt like forever. I can't believe that this happened. I can still remember. You didn't come to school the other day, and no one... Oh. Fuck, it's Yahiko. I thought that was me. I can't believe that this happened. I still remember. You didn't come to school the other day, and no one knew where you were, and Rui wasn't talking about you. Then suddenly, no one could find Rui, and no one can find you, and... A hint of his mask comes crumbling down. For the first time, I see Yahiko's face twisted in true pain. I was thinking that you guys be gone, just like Haru, Shoji, Akane. He grits his teeth, shuddering. All I can do is awkwardly pat him on the shoulder. I've always known that each of Ryota's victims were connected to Yahiko, but for some reason, I never actually considered what that did to Yahiko. It's amazing, really. How could Yahiko even stay standing? How could he still smile, still laugh, even as people he knew were dying? I've always thought of him as a kind of weak and more than kind of stupid, but it looks like he was actually stronger than any of us. He was even right there at the scene of Shoji's death, saw him dying with his own eyes. At the time, the scene looked suspicious, but now that I think about it, wasn't Yahiko trying to prevent a suicide? Wasn't that why I found Shoji in the river? I almost wanted to ask it, but sometimes tell me that Yahiko had enough. Well, I'm okay, apparently. Yahiko stills his mouth, turning up in a forced smile. Yeah, I guess so. But still, I didn't do anything. What could you do? You didn't even know where we were. Yahiko's eyes shifts to the side and he clears his throat. Masato's eyebrows tighten slightly, but he says nothing. Well, actually, Shigori called us. What? Well, I mean, technically, I guess it was after the fact, but still. We needed to know why you were hospitalized, so we kind of just piled on a bunch of questions. She explained everything. The case, your investigation. She said we deserve to know. Shigori told them? Why would Shigori tell them? It simply doesn't make sense. At the very least, she would be wasting her time. Beyond that, she could be spilling confidential info with no clear purpose. So, well, we told Akari and Misaki since Akira is the best friend of Rui and Misaki knows knows you both. And Elizabeth ended up overhearing, and apparently Shigori had told Ari. We visited you a few times, but, you were either knocked out or you started thrashing around. And then, they kicked us out entirely. So, that's why they stayed so worried. That's why they were so persistent with the gifts. I guess it's not every day that one of your friends tries to fight a serial killer. A smile of gratitude tugs at my lips, and I feel a little warmer inside. They really care a lot for us, didn't they? Thanks, Yahiko. Yahiko only nods mutedly. I glance at Masato, only to find that he's still stewing. Come to think of it, he hasn't said a word. Masato? Damn it! Yahiko and I jump at Masato's sudden exclamation. I'm a smack full dumber! The fullest dummery dumber! What? He quiets slightly, speaking through grit teeth. I was stupid blind. I didn't see nothing but myself. I'm really sorry, man. Wait, where's this coming from? Honestly, I'm just surprised to see him here. I wasn't fair to you, man. Was throwing a tantrum like little Habiki. Saying all those words, not listening to you. It was something only a smacking full dumber would do. Should have asked what was going on instead of assuming everything. Oh, his apology catches me off guard. Well, thanks, but he was right. Just after he told me to be nice to Rui, I treated her like trash. Maybe he could sense it coming. Maybe he saw that something was wrong with me. Wait. Now that I'm paying more attention, I notice that Masato's hair is damped. Not only that, but there's the faint smell of chlorine? Masato, were you just swimming? Well, yeah, I guess. Technically it's summer, and technically it's pretty normal to be swimming, but something churning slowly in my brain, disused but still keen. Well, you know, all you talk about is track. Yama probably tired of hearing about it by now. But I don't just run. I swim too, and do basketball. Masato can swim. In fact, he can swim well. Masato's incredibly athletic. And the last person who I spoke to before I seen Soji drowning in the river, before I almost drowned, he saved us, had been Masato. He could have easily hauled Soji and me to shore, even if we were both hopeless at swimming. Odd, it was 3 months ago, but each memory feels as vivid as yesterday. Vibrant, full of life. Guess I should seize the moment. Did you save us? Save who now? Me and Shoji from drowning 3 months ago. Oh. That's definitely a yes. It's not like he forgot saving 2 people from drowning, even if it was 3 months ago. Wait, you guys almost drowned? Well, we didn't thanks to Masato. Yaiko's face twists for a moment, and for one terrible second, I think he's about to cry. And then... Did you see a mermaid? Now, my good minion, this is a very important question. You must answer. There was a mermaid, wasn't there? Beautiful, with long hair and a voice that sounds like a really nice voice. To answer or not to answer? Why not? Well, she sung just like you. Really? She must have been amazing. It was definitely worth an awe. I knew it! The hell are you saying, Yama? There was no mermaid. What? The overdramatic gasp is punctuated with a very long silence. And then Masato snorts. I chuckle. Yahiko giggles. And pretty soon, the 3 of us are collapsed on the ground, rolling with uncontrollable laughter. My side aches and my chest heaves, and every possible muscle on every possible limb is protesting with sore ache. But it feels good, like the stress is just melting out of my body. Finally, we pick ourselves up, brushing at our eyes. Good to see you're still with us, man. I don't want to take a rest, cause there's a lot of people waiting to talk with you. You're almost as famous as I am. Wait, what? Later, man. Rest up, good minion. I'll put you to work the moment you recover. Wait, what do you mean that I'm... And they've already skipped out of the room, leaving me completely bewildered. I wait for another visitor, but my door doesn't open again. Maybe people are coming later. It would be nice talking with Masato and Yahiko. It would be nice. After talking with Masato and Yahiko, everything feels normal. Kinda like the world, after being knocked off course, has found its bearing again. On your feet, soldier! Yeah! Oh, it's fucking Akira, Ari, and Elizabeth. I startled out of my beauty sleep to find that Akira, Ari, and Elizabeth are seated in the chairs next to my bed. For a moment, my groggy mind scrambles to piece together reality. Right, hospital. They must be visiting me. Fuck, I hit my mic. Sorry about that. I just, bam, smacked in my hands. I'm trying to grab my throat for fucking... Because I want to do Akira's voice! Oh my god! Yeah, I don't know, like, when I do their voices, like, I grab my throat a little bit. Like, for Akira, I took slightly, so I could be more... Oh hey! It actually worked! But he does seem a bit disoriented. Well, we simply can't have that, can we? Sekimori. Or don't. Elizabeth clears her throat and arcs an eyebrow in my direction. So, Yama Ishimoto. So, Elizabeth Oshiro. She suddenly lurches to her feet, glaring darkly at me. I wanted to know what the bloody hell were you thinking when you decided to do something so blarmy? Going to face a known serial killer, alone, unarmed? What were you planning to do? Sneeze on him? Her chiding catches me off guard, but it doesn't grate my nerves. It actually seems caring in the weirdest way. It is unavoidable. Yama is the protagonist. Precisely! It's exactly something that says the main character of a novel would do. Well, this isn't a bloody novel. Correct. It's a visual novel. Yes, it is, Ari. Yes, it is. Well, that's just a theory. A game theory. Never mind. You know what? I'm not even gonna ask. Yeah, that one's beyond even me. I relax against my pillows. Their energetic presence lights up the room. I haven't realized how much I miss just being an ordinary kid, hanging out with his friends and getting ready for university until now. Right, ordinary life, friends. I can just talk about normal stuff, stupid stuff. I clear my throat awkwardly, struggling for words. So, how's school been? Wait, you're asking about school? Who are you and what have you done with Yama Ishimoto? Well, it's a welcome break from thinking about serial killers. You speak truth. She turns to Elizabeth, as if deferring to authority. Elizabeth smiles, appreciatively. Well, the Academy's been fighting off as long as possible, but they were finally forced to shut down. Just today, actually. The public scandal was too much for them to bribe off, apparently. The police are currently conducting an investigation to see how deep this murder scheme goes, and why it seems to center around Yahiko Ikari. Before I can stop it, my brain automatically kicks back into investigation mode. Have they found anything yet? Unfortunately, no. It's unusual, actually, how clean and tidy these killings are. There are no ties to any faculty, no apparent motive, no links to an accomplice, and Mr. Ryota has gone off his trolleys from the moment he has been apprehended. Nothing he says makes any sense. I briefly recall a direct discussion about Aztec gods and blood rituals. It seems so far away. Yeah, I'm not very surprised. But he could be mask his insanity.
But why could he mask his insanity so well while he was a dorm manager? It was practically a personality check. Hey Elizabeth, Yama's supposed to be resting from that.
It's fine, Akira. This is important stuff.
Nope, you need to rest. Ruri's orders.
I can rest as much as I want later. Isn't the academy close?
Actually, there's an interesting story behind that too.
Akira expels an exasperated sigh, but I'm only honed in Elizabeth's words. What do you mean?
Don't you find it odd that there aren't reporters hovering around? That you haven't received a single request for an interview?
Maybe I'm not cute enough.
Oh, for the love of... They haven't been around Ruri's room either.
Well, when she puts it that way, it's definitely suspicious. I would have thought that this kind of juicy scandal would draw reporters like canary birds to a corpse. So, there's no news coverage?
They've covered Mr. Ryota's killing spree and arrest, but there's nothing on the closure of the academy. It's as if the National News Network is simply ignoring the fact it all happened at the school. Wait, what? But the job of the news is to inform the people. Oh, one would hope, but in this case, there's not a peep from them.
Sober silence falls over the room. No news for closing the academy? Come to think of it, the NNN used to cover the murders extensively, but I haven't seen much from them recently. Or that's just because I don't watch the news much.
Well, we should get going. You need to rest up.
She reaches out a hand as if to pat me on the shoulder, but suddenly withdraws it, looking away.
Bye.
She quickly runs out of the room. Elizabeth snorts, but her features immediately softens into, dare I say, admiration.
Rescuing Ruri was an admirable feat, Yama Ishimoto. Utterly batty, perhaps, but admirable.
Dude, I got a burp. I was eating pozole earlier. Note to self, do not eat pozole before, doing a video. Fuck, man, I feel like burping the whole day. With these parting words, she turns on her heels and strides away. Ari is the only one left. Her gaze fixes on me, almost like she's examining an alien specimen. What is it? Oh, you brought alcohol.
You seem uncomfortable.
Actually, this bed's really nice.
Not that kind of uncomfortable.
I wait for her to elaborate, but she doesn't say any more. She only slips back into her chair.
I can sing. Singing can help you sleep.
Oh, thanks? Something about the weight of her words make me think that this is more than an offer to sing. It's almost an expression of trust. I'd like that. Ari smiles, just the teensiest bit, then closes her eyes. The intricate melody that spills from her lips practically eases my muscles into butter. I've forgotten how nice her voice sounded. It barely takes me any time before I'm slipped away from consciousness. I awake on my own this time. I fully expected the room to be vacant, to be occupied only by the ticking of the clock, to be utterly silent, but instead I'm greeted with the sight of a girl seated in the chair beside me. Wait, not a girl? Woman? Shigori? She doesn't even look up from. Is that a book she's reading? No, files. Long files apparently. Ah, Ishimoto, you're awake. Or sleep talking? Highly improbable. I forgot what was her voice, like, was it this voice? This voice? Or was it Dark Knight voice? I'm gonna do Dark Knight voice. I smirk at that. Even Shigori seems to be smiling. So, what brings you to my humble abode? Shouldn't you be working? Ryota has already been apprehended. I see no further need for my presence in the precinct. What? Really? Shigori's eyebrows give the barest twitch of irritation. Or is there more to the story? Like, maybe, I don't know, they officially considered the case closed, so you're no longer granted access to the investigation. Ugh. Bullseye. That's kind of strange. Aren't you the reason why they managed to get Ryota in the first place? I expected her to explode in a fit of intricate insults, but instead, she hunches over as a large weight is bearing down on her shoulders. There are unusual movements in Ishimoto. Something is stirring beneath the surface, something bigger than any of us could ever imagine. And I'm the chosen one, born to master the 5 elements and take down the ultimate evil in this world. Absolutely not. Then maybe the shining sword of the chosen one. Oh, please. At best, you're a blunt arrow, sharper than the average rock, but only just. Ouch! Can you give me back the Shigori from 3 months ago? I liked her better. I'm afraid she'll never make another appearance. But when she snaps the file shut, her smirk softens into a genuine smile. It is good to see you did not die, Ishimoto. Although I am uncertain of its relevance, I told myself that as soon as you were coherent, I might relate my story to you. What's that supposed to mean? You may have noticed my certain unusual reaction to your phone call. I knew that you wouldn't believe me. You never needed me as your assistant in the first place. I wouldn't have believed you? But you didn't even try! I would have believed you, I would! If you would just trusted me, if you just make her girly when she's vulnerable. Now that you mention it, I've never seen Shigori that emotional, not even when we ran into Natsuki. For time's sake, as well as sake of your own interest, I'll keep my tale short. Despite her confident start, she gives a marked pause before she continues. I get the feeling that she hasn't talked about her story very often. Somehow, the idea makes me feel special. I was difficult to get along in my youth. Only in your youth? I automatically keep my mouth shut. Most decide to keep their distance from me because of my voice. As a method of coping, I kept books. Hence her occasional bursts of ridiculous vocabulary, I guess. For the most part, the majority of my peers were inane and superficial. Losing their acquaintanceship was no loss. However, one day, a boy approached me. The various traits that others hated so much about me, he found fascinating. He became my trusted friend over time. I have few memories apart from him. We even decided to engage in matrimony as we study in university. After, of course, we found stable jobs. I finished my schooling with 2 years and a half, at which point I became my detective agency. Wait, 2 years and a half years? That sounds crazy. She must have taken max units, enrolled in classes over interim, study without breaks. I dearly love my field of study and greatly look forward to my field of work. Aside from the late nights, it was no difficulty. Somehow, I find that hard to believe. At any rate, one of my first cases was worked in conjunction with the police. There was a particularly vicious triple murder, closely related to the family of my betrothed. He put forward a suspect. I believed his mind to be clouded by emotion and disregarded. So, I left and found another detective. I winced at the idea. That must have really hurt her pride. Shigori noticed my reaction and raised an eyebrow. I was surely betrayed, Ishimoto. My pride was not the only aspect that was in pain. It may have been akin to Rui losing trust in you, even though you thought that she, of all people, would continue to support you. Just a thought sending me reeling. I quickly decided to not consider it again. The suspect that my betrothed put forward was eventually, as I suspected, found to be innocent. Except, no sooner after receiving his verdict, the alleged innocent man tracked my betrothed's residence and... She pauses. The edge of her expression crumbles, but she holds strong. There was another murder that day.
one I could not handle.
Oh.
All I wished for was to take back my actions. I wish that he had believed in me, and that I believed in him.
So when I run around by myself, when I planned on facing Rhoda by my own initiative, no wonder she was so panicked. A repeat in history, a second time loop. Shigori doesn't deserve that. Thank you for telling me. She only shrugs wordlessly.
It may help your resolve when it comes to Rui. Learn from my mistakes, Ishimoto. This is my gravest instruction.
What do you mean? What does it have to do with Rui?
Leave no regrets. This is all I mean.
No regrets? Is he telling me to start dating Rui? Just like everyone else? The thought seems odd, kind of trivial. Maybe the past 3 months contributes to that. Shigori notes my uneasy expression and stands to her feet, somewhat abruptly.
Regardless, there are other matters I must see to, but you have earned a well-deserved rest, and well as this.
She extends a flat white envelope to me, stamped with pay stub. Wait, what's this?
Your pay. I dare say it's deserved.
But you never said you'll pay me.
I mentioned it multiple times, actually. You simply did not listen.
She pushes the envelope in my hands. My fingers numbly accepts it. Wow, thanks. It's unexpectedly generous of her.
Farewell, Ishimoto. Rest up.
Dude, she fucking hurts my throat. She whisks out of the room, leaving me with the envelope. Well, I never thought that she'd actually pay me. She didn't seem like the type. Hesitantly, I tear the envelope open and unfold the sheet of paper inside. It's an official-looking invoice with 3 printed lines, accompanied by a scribbled note.
Income, 100,000 yen. Dream park ticket, 110,000 yen. Debt, 10,000 yen.
However, as my magnanimity has no bounds, I shall be regularly waive your debt. S.E. I totally should have seen this coming.
Very well, Ishiyami. Let us depart.
Really? And you're paying for everyone?
Oh yes, with your future wages.
I should have known something was up the moment Shigori started complimenting me. Nevertheless, I'm chuckling to myself as I slip the paper stub back into the envelope. That's definitely more like Shigori. How long is this fucking game? Still grinning, I settle back for some more sleep. I know with satisfaction that the heaviness in my limbs is much less substantial than before. I wake to a soft knock at the door. I gotta end it there. But yeah, why? I gotta go to work tomorrow. Seriously, I literally thought this was gonna be maybe like half an hour. I literally thought I was like really close to the end. And probably next episode might be a fucking hour too. Just note, guys, that, I have limited time. I'm sorry. I gotta go work early tomorrow. I go to work at 11 a.m. It is 1 a.m. right now. I gotta go to work in like 10 hours. So I need my 8 hours of sleep and wake up and take a shower and everything, So if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to see whenever I post my next video, and hopefully, this will be the end of the series. So basically, episode 30 will be the end of the series. Which is kind of great because it's like an even number and not like an odd one like this one. And yeah, you're rambling again. Get the fuck out if you're not gonna play the game. Okay, sorry, guys. Shit. Alrighty, this is farewell. And as always, bye-bye.